Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Libertalia, the original first edition by Paolo Mori. When did this game come out? Was it like 2012?
2013.
Tuesday.
Was it 13? Tuesday. About 10 years ago. I remember the day because I was having coffee and I saw the announcement and boy oh boy did I just... Anyway, so this was a game that's always been kind of brought up on a lot of top 10s throughout the years. I think a lot of people compare this to like Citadels and those kinds of games. Yep. Where it's basically kind of like everyone starts out with the same hand.
2012.
It was 2012?
Yeah, 2012.
I must be Rain Man. I just know the year. But yeah, so I've never played Citadels, but I have played games where kind of people have the same hand and you're playing that hand, and it's just kind of the order of how you play it.
Right.
And usually I'm piss poor at that. But I can definitely see the hype around this one. I think this is a very fun game. Like it's simple but deep, I think, in the same time with the different card combos. I like the fact that there are 30 cards in every game you play. You're going to shuffle your deck, and it's like, oh, it's now this order of 6, and that's going to...
After 2 or 3 games, you're familiar with what each of them do.
Right.
So you don't have to focus so much on reading them and thinking about it.
And trying to figure out synergies, and then the next round you get 6 more, and you're just like, oh, God, okay, now how do these work?
Right.
You definitely become a little bit more familiar and try and maybe plan for future turns. So I do like that. I think this is easily one of the better ones of that hand management kind of game. So, but this is one that you tout. It's one of your favorites.
Yep.
So yeah, take it away. Why this one?
Yeah, I mean it's in its core, it's a party game. It's just a more complicated party game.
Yeah.
It's one that I played 1,000 times. It's easy to teach. Overall, I don't know. It's pretty straightforward. There's not much to it. I feel like, but yeah.
What do you guys think?
For me, kind of the opposite, but I wasn't playing it with a party mindset.
I
was playing it as a strategy game, and so I was like, it's limiting and it's random, and so I wasn't in that mindset where you've been enjoying it. So if I shift, I can see it being a lot more enjoyable.
Right. Because when you think party game, you think like laugh out loud, haha, like crazy, like craziness of like, oh, and then this doesn't have that. It's more just
and often they're groups, team versus team, or they're groups, synergy kind of thing. And this one's definitely individual.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Zach?
But so, I mean, I definitely liked it. I probably kind of am halfway in between, so I see it as kind of a strategy game, but kind of a party game.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Because like Citadels, to me, it is a lot of strategy and reading people, because you're only taking... It's 9 cards, and you take one of them. Yeah. And they each do something different. And someone is trying to kill one, has to plan out who they're trying to kill, but they're trying to target a specific person. They don't know who it is.
Yeah.
This, you are doing similarly, where I'm counting cards, or at least attempting to count cards for everybody, but like by round 3, that's radically changed.
Round 3, I was like, everyone's cards. I knew you were playing the voodoo thing, but basically you also said it. Right. But then like you both were like, parrot, and I'm like, what?
Right.
I still have it. Like, mine died years ago.
How many parrots are going to get played this round?
Right. But that's the cool thing, is like, I also like the fact that the treasures, like depending on number of players, that's how many treasures there are.
Right.
And none of them, I mean, there are obviously ones that are better than others. There's the cursed relics, but I like the fact that there's cards that will benefit you for taking, because it's like, if it was pure random, it'd be annoying. It'd be like, oh great, I'm going last again. Yes, I'll take the cursed relic, but there's people in here that have ways of getting rid of them.
Or not taking them.
Or turning them
into
these
value.
are actually,
Or even to the fact that you see that you're probably going to get a cursed relic, so you put out someone who's going to benefit you over a long period of time, like the barkeep. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get something bad here.
Yeah.
Let's start getting that one deploon one turn earlier than I was originally planning for it.
Yeah.
And turn that slightly negative that was going to basically be guaranteed to at least a mitigated problem.
Yeah. And it's not so party-esque that it is just like randomness, like the brute, for example. It's like you can hedge your bets and be like, okay, I think they all have a higher card than me. They're probably going to play it, so I'll play it, and then everyone plays something lower, so then he beats himself up.
Right. And there's so many times like I thought, I was like, oh, the parrot would have been so useful here just to see what everybody else is going to play.
Right. I will say there are some engines in the game, but I feel like you can never really maximize them. Your Voodoo Witch Doctor was really good, but I think it was also at the time everyone kept killing your people prior, so you didn't have to play the Spanish officer to do it yourself.
Right.
And I did, so I'm like, oh, I could really maximize. I can get rid of all of them now, but I'm like, no, wait, I'm playing the Cabin Boy last, therefore I have to play the Voodoo Witch Doctor here, therefore I have to play, and so I'm actually like a turn late, so I'm not as efficient, and that doesn't feel great.
Right.
That's just more of like, man, I really,
my
maybe
Voodoo
next time.
fell into place. So it's like, okay,
Right.
everybody's killing my stuff, and the 2 cards I have out aren't benefiting me, so let's just take, there's a good treasure. Let's play number 30, the Governor, kills everything off, and next turn, maximize it.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
I think this game also has, this is where the party S comes in. If you come in thinking it's a full strategy game, you're going to get annoyed.
Right.
If people keep killing your guys, or you're trying to get the witch, or not the witch, it was the governor's daughter, and you're like, oh man, I can't wait, and then someone's like, I'm going to take the sword and kill her.
Right.
And it's like, and you take that really personal, it's like, ew, you're not going to have a good time with this.
Or even like Brett debating on should he take the treasure or the sword, because he thought, well, of course then I would take the sword, because why would I take the treasure? I was like, well, because I have a card that's going to give me 6 doubloons by doing it.
Right. But he also has to remember if you played that or not. So stuff like that.
So some of the, to me, the strategy portion is, it's not really, could be lying, but no, I'm going to take the map.
True. Yeah.
Which influences decision.
Do we have any negatives on the game?
The randomness is for me a little bit negative, but it's not terrible.
The randomness of like starting hand, or the cards that you get.
Cards.
That's interesting. I like that actually, because I think that's more variety, and because it's, Zach mentioned, it's kind of a party-esque game. I don't take it as seriously. So whenever I'm like getting the 6, I'm more excited of like, oh, what 6 am I gonna get? It's kind of like it's like rolling dice. Like if you're like, I want to do this action, and then you roll to see if it works. That part pisses me off. Like War of the Ring, where you roll the dice and these are now your actions. I like that more.
Right.
Because now it's like I wasn't anticipating something versus now here's what I got. What can I make of that? That's how I take the cards a little bit.
I think it's the mindset, because I do feel like I want to strategize, I want to make engines work, and then the cards don't pop up for it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where, again, it's probably just more me than anything else than the actual game.
You guys got any negatives?
I've just always viewed this game because I've been playing it. This was like one of the first games I got. I think I got Scythe after this, which was like my first big game. But I think I just see it as what it is. You know, I've never seen the negatives in it just because it is what it is. If that makes any sense at all.
Sure. I think nostalgia helps a lot with like kind of overlooking things. Like
And you
Talisman.
played with a very different mindset than I have.
True.
And I come in as playing a lot of strategy games, and I prefer them, and we're each playing our own hands, and we've got similar, we can do the card counting, we all know each other's powers.
Yeah.
And I should say that it's the more people you play with, the more of a party game it is. The less
can
people
see
you
that.
play with, the more strategy is involved, especially
Yeah.
with 3 or 4. 4 is kind of the in-between point.
I think 4 is like a good, like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't play with less than 4.
Yeah.
I would agree. I wouldn't play this.
3 would be very weird.
I never played with 2.
Does it even play 2?
The
I guess
new
it
one
does,
does. The new one plays solo too, but
Yeah.
this one does. I don't know.
It actually, yes, 2 to 6.
Yeah.
I don't know that would be great, but 3 works
Yeah.
pretty well. 6 is fun as a party game.
I can see that. Yeah. This is one of those that we've mentioned it with the gaming group. It's like everyone tries to play max players, and I'm the one that's like, no, like max players sucks for most games. And this one, I would actually be like, oh, 6 players, yeah, I'll jump in on that.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Let's just fucking see what happens.
I kind of think, again, it would go more party-esque, and I think I would enjoy this more. At the 4 players, it's like, oh, it actually kind of requires some strategy here. But 6 players? I don't think I have to strategize
I feel
all
like
that
3
much.
would be more cutthroat because in
think so, too.
the swords, it's like you and I aren't affecting each other, and neither are they. But 3, it's like everyone's dying all the time.
Right.
So you trying to get your den to work. It's just like they're getting killed all over the place, and it's like, can you guys stop? Why are swords keep coming out?
Right, I don't think I'd play this at less than 4.
Yeah, 4 is a good buffer.
Yeah.
My negative is not really a fault of the game, but 10 years later, it is dated. The wording on the cards, it can be very frustrating. I remember the first time playing this, there were multiple times I'd play a card being like, oh, that's how that reads. And it's like, nah, that's not how that works. And it's like, and because I've seen all of yours, it's like, well, fuck, okay, it's not really fair for me to take it back.
Right.
Like
even with me when I was playing, I mean, you have a total of what, 18 cards? No, there's more than that. 9, 6, 6, 12. So
it's 18 cards
that you play.
That you'll play, but you start out with 6 and you get
21.
then you'll have 9.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember some of the cards that I had gotten.
Right.
And I could play like 3 games and not get certain cards, like some of those cards that
I
I hadn't played with in a really long time. So.
Yeah. And it's just so stupid with the mistakes that it's like the biggest one that happened in the run through was the Preacher, where it's like discard all booty tiles but 1. It's like, okay, that makes it think like, oh, haha, because he's going last, but he's really screwing everyone else over.
And now that I think about it, we've played it both ways before. Not this group, but my group and various other groups have. Like,
you've always played it.
And I never really second guessed it. I'm like, okay, that's the way we're playing it. But like, I guess I just never really think about it.
Right, and the biggest thing was the fact of they have this token that's supposed to be like, hey, you're out of the game thing, but they still say discard pile.
Right.
So the entire time we were thinking the parrot was like super like amazing, or the surgeon, because
Right.
you're like, oh my god, I get to go way back.
And then on top of that, the parrot with the surgeon is even better.
Right.
Yeah.
But that makes sense because it's like discard pile, but then it's like, well, what the hell is this thing? It's like, no, those are your out of game cards. And you said exiled. I'm like, yes, just say exiled or something.
Yeah. This book needs like a card by card explanation.
That would be nice.
Right.
We're comparing this to the other game. I'm sure that remedied it because their rule books are usually pretty adequate. But this one's only like 6 pages, 8 pages, 10 pages.
Which for the game portion of it is plenty.
Yeah. It's not like so detrimental. Once again, if you're going into this as a strategy game, then those miss words like the ambiguity would be more frustrating.
Right.
But if you're like at a lighthearted game, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. I'll still take it, and then I'll get rid of this, whatever. Or what we did the first time. Oh, okay, just take the card back and then shuffle up and randomize.
Right.
If you have knowledge.
Right.
That's really my only negative. Like, I think this is a very fun game.
Yep.
Good theme.
Good theme. Like,
Art
I
is
wouldn't
good.
necessarily say the pirate theme shoots out. Like, it's not like,
No.
wow, I really feel like... But it's not... I don't think it's really asking for that.
No.
Like, if you want a pirate game, play Merchants and Marauders if you really want that whole shebang. But yeah, the art is good. I really like the box cover. And I love how these are humans. Real life people. There are a few animals, but it makes sense to the real world.
Mm-hmm.
There's a monkey.
Does that monkey have a dick?
It has sexy feet for some reason.
I'm not naming any other games that have that, but
Right. But I mean, you also have a parrot that already has, taped up
balls.
mouth.
The parrot's butthole is showing the whole time. Oh, weird. Yeah.
If you look carefully, can tell its own story, but you have no idea what it is.
But yeah, I think this is a really good game. But obviously go check out the run through for the next one because we'll be able to actually compare them. And we'll see how that works. But you guys got anything else?
No.
No? Cool.
Right. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you guys give Libertalia? We'll start with you because yours is going to be probably the highest.
this is a 9 for me.
9?
Yep.
Solid 7.5.
It's like solid 7.5.
3.5. So now we're on a scale of 20 all of a sudden. Right. 7.
7. I'm actually at an 8. Like, I surprisingly, like, whenever we first play this, I'm like, I suck at these hand cards, trying to be like, oh, I don't fucking know, let's try this. But this one has the variety, so I'm gonna be at an 8.
Right.
All right, so that's our thoughts on Libertalia. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, comment, share, and subscribe, and everyone for their time of day to do. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.